Good morning, everyone. I'm just going to wait for you guys to trickle in. How's everyone doing today? Can't believe January is almost over this week, pretty much. Say hi. Let me know where you're tuning in from as you log in. If this is your first time, definitely let me know it's your first time so I can give you a shout out. I'm just going to wait. Hi, Fabian on Instagram. Hi, YouTube. Hi, Facebook. Okay, let me introduce myself. Hi, Kenzie on Facebook. My name is Aisha Chidole. I'm an immigration attorney. I help clients in all 50 states within the United States and internationally with their immigration matters. If you'd like to schedule a consultation with me, you can call 407-995-6567. You can also send us a message on WhatsApp, 404-333-8751. Okay. So let me get right into it. Good morning, Ashani, Mara from Maryland. Oh, it's your first time. Thanks for tuning in. MZ Bex from Florida. I'm in Florida too. Thanks for tuning in for the first time. Kia says Victor Sunday. Thank you for tuning in. Comfort from Arizona. Good morning. Hey, Brandon. Good morning. Hey, Carl. Good morning. Oh, Michelle says, good morning, the law. Good morning to you too. And Pike from Ghana, good morning. Okay, guys, I don't have a lot of time, so let me just get right into it. So today, like January has been crazy with interviews, guys. Like when I tell you that I've had like several interviews this January, it's been um crazy, and I really just want to talk about some things, and you guys don't judge me because one of my nails needs to be done. I really want to talk about some things that I've observed, in this interviews, and just even with my own clients, and um for those that have been successful, versus the ones that have not been successful. It's been an unfortunate thing to see, just so you guys can be prepared. you know the first thing is, show this to your spouses that are US citizens that are petitioning for you. They're the ones that need to watch this video because they're the ones that can single-handedly ruin this for you. First and foremost, the first and the most important thing is when you're attending a marriage-based interview to get a green card, you should have certain original documents. Both spouses, you as an immigrant should have your birth certificate, your original birth certificate, or a certified copy of your birth certificate. Your spouse should have their proof of US citizenship, and that's the original, either their birth certificate, their passport, or certificate of naturalization. Those you're not getting an approval regardless without providing like proof of those. So you want to, so even though you've sent a copy in, when you applied, they want you to bring the originals to verify. Again, it could be a certified copy, to verify. Okay. And then of course, any other bona fides that you have acquired since the time you submitted your petition till the time of the application. I know some of you are like, well, what is bona fide? What does that mean? Basically, in order for you to be approved for a green card, you have to show that you're in a legitimate marriage. They call it a bona fide marriage. What that means is that your marriage is real. This marriage is not for immigration purposes. So a marriage certificate is not proof of a bona fide marriage, because fake marriages have marriage certificates. Proof of bona fide marriages are anything that shows financial entanglement. I talk about this all the time. You guys may not have filed taxes together, but you better have joint bank accounts, or accounts that you're spending both actively on. Don't come with an account that has $100 in it and nobody has ever spent any money in it. That's not proof of financial entanglement. I know some of you are going to be like, well, we don't have a bank account because I don't have a social security number or whatever. Bank of America and many other banks will allow you to open a bank account without a social security number. Things like insurance, you want to have, if you don't have health insurance together, car insurance, dental insurance, life insurance, whatever. Just get as much stuff as you can, get. Okay. And then The other thing that you want to make sure of, we're going to talk about the interview itself. Um, you need to know where you live. You need to know where you live. Like, let me stress that again. You need to know where you live. You cannot come there and say, well, oh, I can't remember the name of the street where I live, or I can't remember the city where I live. You need to know where you live. You need to know how you met your spouse. Like, this is not up for debate. And this is not a time for you guys to have a cute story of his version is different from my version. You know how, like, you see couples and you're like, oh, how did you guys meet? And, they're like, oh, his version is different from my version. And everybody wants to tell their version. This is not the time with immigration. Your versions must be the exact same, because you always want to prepare as though they're going to separate the two of you. Because sometimes, even if they don't separate the two of you, they can still have a Stoke-like interview with the two of you in there. I would say, like, one of the interviews, which thankfully was successful, that we had last week, the couple were together, but they asked them very much Stokes questions while they were together. And Stokes, for those of you who don't know, Stokes is basically when they really get into the nitty gritty and they separate the two of you. And they may ask you, here's a sheet of paper, draw a picture of your bedroom, right? And then they ask the other person, draw a picture of your bedroom. Your bedrooms need to match. Or they may say, what color is your window? Does your window go up or does your window pull out? Those are how detailed they get. What color boxes was your husband wearing today? What was the last meal you had? Now that we're in January, a lot of interviews will get into, what did you do for Christmas? What did you do for New Year? Did you buy your spouse a birthday, a New Year's, a Christmas gift, and things like that. So you should know that, especially if you're having interviews within this January and February, which seems to be where we're having just so many this period. So you definitely want to know those things. Knowing dates is really important, even if you don't know like the actual number of the month, but knowing when you met each other is really important. Never go into an interview thinking, I know my spouse so well that I'm not going to forget anything. So I'm not going to rehearse. I'm not going to practice or go over it. This is something that's very important to you and your spouse, obviously. So you need to practice. You need to go over things, and you need to make sure that both of you have the same recollection of what it is that you're doing. If they ask about proposal, the story needs to be the same. Not one person saying, well, I didn't get her a ring, and the other person saying, oh, I didn't understand what you meant. I got her a ring. You should know. They call this matters of the heart. As far as USCIS is concerned, that these are things that people that love each other should never forget, how you were proposed to. And, again, as an African myself, I understand that some people don't have grandiose proposals, even though I did have a grandiose proposal. But even if it's just like, well, you want to get married, let's get married, then let it be that both of you know that that's what it was. I don't want one person saying, oh, we went here and, once the food was open, the ring box was there. And then the other person saying, well, we just said, let's get married. So you want to make sure that your stories are the same. Let me see what else. And then, if you guys live together, you should change your driver's license. Your driver's license should reflect that change, especially if you are a newlywed couple and you really don't have a lot of bona fides. You really don't have a lot of bona fides. I'll give you an example. One of my recent clients was literally thrown a bone. They would literally throw a bone, and the lady's like, I'll give you guys a chance because you guys are newlywed. I'll give you this conditional green card. So you probably have not gotten enough, but I am telling you, if you come back here to remove the conditions, you're not going to get this chance again. So you need to go start acquiring things. So really, try to acquire things. And I know some people are going to probably ask me, well, what about those of us who are our spouses don't want to do this? That's a different life that I can talk about, because then we want to enter into the vow territory. But really today I'm talking about people who have good marriages and you and your spouses are going there, and just to make sure that you're prepared for this. So that is I'm trying to see what else, what else. But really, you just want to be prepared. Don't just go there and think, I'm just gonna go there and just tell what it is. Like I know a couple that they have like two children and they got denied because he was so unprepared. Like he literally didn't remember anything, and it didn't even matter that they had kids. So just prepare yourself for the interviews and take it seriously. Look at it that you're going for the best job, of your life, or something that you've always wanted. Okay, guys, let me see what questions you guys have. I know there's a ton of questions. Mara, baby from Maryland, thanks for tuning in. Real Zim from New York. Real Zim says, I'd like to schedule an appointment. Okay, you can call us 407-995-6567. You can also send a WhatsApp 404-333-8751. I will be happy to schedule. So this person says, I have a huge question that I want a full understanding of. I got married last year. However, I applied for my N400 in April 2020 with no interview in sight, but I need to get my husband a work permit. Well, if your husband is an overstay, and you are a green card holder, unfortunately, you can't get him a work permit. So I know, that's what you desire, but the way the USCIS immigration works, you have to be a U.S. citizen. One of the things you can check is the processing time for your field office. And you can also try like an ombudsman request, so because April, so you're almost approaching 2 years. So you could also try to see if you can do congressional assistance or an ombudsman assistance to help you. Personally, I use congressional assistance strategically. I first of all have to determine whoever your local congressman is, are they immigrant friendly? Are they going to advocate? Are they really going to push to try to, get you this interview? If I see that that district or that constituent is not, immigrant friendly, we're moving on to ombudsman. So that's what you can try and do. Okay. MZ Beck said, what about life insurance and health insurance? Absolutely. If you can get health insurance, it's good. If you can get life insurance, it's good. And one thing I would say to you guys as well, when you're submitting these things, it's not just submitting a paper saying we have health insurance. If you're able to print out some monthly bills, to show that those payments are being made, that's helpful, because sometimes you will see them say, well, yeah, you're showing me this insurance or this health insurance that was set up or that you registered for, but how do I know that you guys are paying for it? So if you have monthly bills showing that your car insurance is being paid, your health insurance is being paid, that's also good to submit. Kia says, I married my husband in Nigeria. What kind of documents should I make sure to bring back to submit to file his spousal visa when I return to the States? Well, you need his attestation of birth. So I don't know what year your spouse was born, but in Nigeria, anyone that was born after 1979, you have to get an attestation of birth from the NPC. Usually you can go within your local government, so you can ask him to do that. So you're going to need that. If he's able to take passport pictures, he can, but it's not required because it's out of the country. Those are going to be the critical things. Otherwise, it's just the questions that he and you are going to be completing. When we're going to need things like police clearance and stuff like that will be after your I-130 is approved and we're moving on to the consular processing section. Okay. Colin says, I have an IR1 visa. Can I file for my son immediately after I arrive in the USA? Well, the answer is going to depend on your son, how old your son is, and his marital status. For those of you who don't know, basically he has a green card. It's this, if you're getting a green card from outside the country, it's called a spousal visa. Once you come in, you have a green card. So, for you, it would be, if your son is unmarried, yes, and he's under 21, you can certainly file for him. If he's unmarried and he's over 21, you can certainly file for him. The only thing is, if he's over 21, the visas are not available. They're not current. So, it could take him like 5 to 6 years, but why not? Just put it in the process and let the timeline go. All right, guys, I have about 5 minutes. So let me see what else I can answer. Colleen says, can you pay taxes if you're out of status? Asking for a friend. Yes, you can pay taxes if you're out of status. In fact, it shows that you're a good potential citizen of the United States. So they like to see that. So, some people do it through their ITIN, which is like a tax ID number, or if you came here like on a J1, or if you came here on H2B or an F1, most of the time you will have a social security number. So, if you're working, certainly pay the taxes. Okay, let's see, what other questions do we have? Hey, Hillary, thanks for tuning in. Hillary is a badass attorney and immigration attorney in Arizona. So for those of you in Phoenix, check her out. Okay, good morning. So good morning. We spoke last week, Wednesday. I'm trying to get those documents together, but I'm confused on some. I don't have most of the documents because he refused adding me. Obviously, yours is a personal matter. I don't even know who this is, but call the office and let's chat. I don't want to talk about your personal business on here. Hi, Harrington. Let's see, who else? Okay, Stephanie says, I got my first I used trying to say prima facie letter about a year ago. How more, I don't understand the question. If you're asking, will you get another one? Yes. So you get prima facie determination letters when you file for VAWA, and you meet basically the approval requirements. What will happen is after you get the first one, they will automatically send you renewals in 6-month increments until they make a decision on your case. Okay. Kiara says, can a 10-year green card holder file for her 19-year-old son? He's in the USA as an overstay. Unfortunately, you can only file the I-130 for him. You will not be able to file for adjustment of status. However, you depending on when he turned 19, if by some stroke of luck you're able to qualify for naturalization and naturalize before he turns 21, then you can file an adjustment of status for him. Atlin has a good question. She says, can you file for your children at any age? The answer depends. So technically, if the answer will be different if you're a U.S. citizen versus if you're a green card holder. If you're a U.S. citizen, you can file as an immediate relative, meaning its visas are immediately available or green cards are immediately available if the children are under 21. If they're over 21, it then breaks into two categories. Those are married and those are married. And these are for U.S. citizen parents. And the timeline is going to vary depending on where they fall in. Right now, I think for those that are married, you're probably looking at like 6 years. And those that are married, you're probably looking like 8 to 10 years. That's for those that are married. And then if you're a green card holder, your child cannot be married at any point while you petition for them. So for the green card holders filing for kids under 21, visas are currently available, but your child cannot be an overstay. So that's the difference between a green card holder and a U.S. citizen. And then you can file for your children over 21 as green card holders, but they can't be married, and they also can't be an overstay. Let's see. Vicky says, I'm so confused on an app that says you're 100% approval and 36% RFE. Please, what does that mean? I have no idea because I have no idea what you're referring to. Sorry. Somebody asked me, what is the recommended wait time to start filing after a marriage? So there's no timeline really to file after a marriage. Some people file right away. Some people wait a couple of months. It's really up to you and your spouse to decide, when you want to file. Obviously, if you file right away, you're probably not going to have acquired as much stuff as, say, somebody who, has acquired a little bit more stuff. But the key thing, honestly, is just to make sure that while your case is pending, most marriage-based cases right now take about a year. This is my last question I'm answering, by the way. Take about a year. So in that year, try to get as much stuff as you can together, but get them organically. Let it be an organic marriage, just like, when you marry you get your lease, you get a couple of utility bills, you might buy a car together, you might get insurance, you might have a baby. So they're watching the organic progression. Like I always say to you guys, USCIS will be more considerate be pre a conditional green card of you guys not having as much versus after you get a conditional green card, they're much tougher because they're expecting you to have much more stuff, because now you can't come up with the excuse that, oh, I don't have papers, so he couldn't add me on this or she couldn't add me on that, and they also want to make sure, in terms of protecting the US citizen as well, and the integrity of the system, that you didn't just get the conditional green card and you're like, peace out, I'm out of here. So that's why they do that. I know that there are more questions, but guys, I got to jump off. I have a meeting. I'll be live again tomorrow sometime between 9 and 10. So you can put your subscribe button, notification button, so you can tune in when I come on live, and I will try to get to most of your questions. Maybe I'll take some and do a frequently asked question tomorrow. All right, guys. I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday. Bye.